Simon Williams, reading for Wonder Man. Simon is an up-and-coming actor.
This is Sherin and
Julian.
And we have to talk to you about the new Disney Plus 8-episode, at this point, limited series, Wonder Man, because that just dropped and we've got a few things we want to say about it. So Destin Daniel Cretton, who did Shang-Chi, is back with Wonder Man starring Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who is having a good run as superhero characters, Julian.
Yeah, like this is his third superhero comic based character. First most people saw him, I believe,
As the great Dr. Manhattan.
as Dr. Manhattan as a reveal.
Yeah, that was
That's
a nice
a
reveal.
spoiler alert for for something that came out 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah, I don't feel like spoiling that old. You saw
And he was
I saw it on Twitter, so.
yeah. Then also he is Black Manta and
Man helmet.
and the previous version of this DC universe, the DC cinematic universe, or DC, what's it,
DCEU.
Yeah, DC. I forgot what the E stands for now because we're far beyond it.
DC Entertainment Universe.
Yeah. So he was a good black man.
He was a great black.
Many characters that was in that version of the universe, in terms of the ones that's being truly great. He was top tier.
He's top tier at everything he does. I remember first meeting him on Netflix in a role called, I think the character's name was Cadillac in the Get Down.
In the Get Down.
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of people first saw him as an actor, and I was like, this guy's going to go places. And guess what?
He did.
Look at him, got awards and everything.
I mean, worthy. And this story sees him, and I think I told you before as we were talking earlier, that when I first started watching Wonder Man, which is now streaming on Disney Plus, I started thinking about WandaVision, and you probably will disagree with me, but I'm going to say why I started thinking about WandaVision, because this is a very meta story. You've got Simon Williams, who is an actor who wants to play Wonder Man because he and his father used to watch that character on TV when he was a kid. And so much of the story is about his trials trying to become that actor. And we're going to do some spoilers here, you guys, because it's already out. And by the time you hear this, it'll be out. But, wait, they dropped all 8 episodes.
They dropped all.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get into this. But, he has powers that he's hiding. He's hiding his identity. And so it's a very meta show where it's a show in a show about a superpowered being who wants to play a superhero, not necessarily be one. And that made me think a lot about the way WandaVision does something similar, a story inside a story. And what I wrote down as my main note for this is what WandaVision did for the brokenness of grief, Wonder Man does for the loneliness of isolation. And that's really what I felt they were trying to say. But this is also a series that's about what Hollywood does to actors and about identity and how much of ourselves we have to hide and what that does to us as people. That's really the main things that I got from it. Did you get any main things going in?
I think in terms of a theme, I think that one stood out the most because I think it works for the most types of people of, I guess, that representation or marginalized or minority, whatever you want to call it, because I think you could apply some of his trials and tribulations with being in Hollywood to being a black actor, to being an immigrant actor.
Yeah.
I think people who are queer can feel like they understand some of the way his character is portrayed in terms of, especially in the way of he hides his powers.
And what that's doing to him, the rage that builds in him, which...
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like all that stuff, the hiding to almost trying to be the model minority at certain points, the almost hiding his culture because it's like, yeah, he's black, but they don't know he's Haitian. Like he keeps a lot of things to himself and also around the people who's close to him. He keeps a lot of things away to present a certain controlled version of himself. And I actually think a lot of black men should watch the show because I think that's a lot of things that black men might relate to in terms of like, I can't show my true self or I have to control or can't show emotion. A lot of that stuff is in the show. I think it's quite smart. I don't know if it's a good Wonder Man show, but I think it's a good show.
It's a good superpower actor show. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think it's a good Sam Williams Wonder Man show for people who and I'm in a minority. I got history with Wonder Man. So it's just like it's not just like it's just like, oh, this is a really good show. Like, I don't know if this is the best Simon Wins Wonder Man show, but it's actually pretty high up there in terms of things that they've made. MCU, I mean. So
Yeah, I think that in that they wanted to talk about kind of this metaphor of Hollywood, they do some really smart things. One of them is that they grab a character who also has his struggles with identity and the perception of the world and how badly he just believes in the craft of acting and how much trouble that gets him into. And that is none other than Trevor Slattery, played by Ben Kingsley.
I'm an actor. Trevor's an actor.
Who, as we know, is the fake Mandarin. He's been in jail for terrorism. And you and I earlier when we're talking about that. I think it was like a 30-minute like side movie.
I don't know if it's 30 minutes,
but it was long.
It was that long.
But it was meaty, and it was a very good movie about him, on the inside.
Yeah, before he got broken out by our good hero Shang-Chi and his dangerous family.
So yeah, Dustin Daniel Cretton really has some good feelings for Trevor Slattery.
Yeah, Trevor Slattery, God, like his fake Mandarin.
And this is, an Asian character. A lot of people don't realize that Ben Kingsley is Indian.
Yeah.
They know he's British. They don't realize he's Indian. And even Ben Kingsley's identity, to a large degree, plays into what they're saying with this show, and what they're saying about actors of color, about men and male actors of color, and how they traverse this world of Hollywood, and the ways that they get blamed and framed. But also, at its core, this is a story about friendship.
Yes, it is. It's like about friendship, about mentorship, father figures,
vulnerability.
Yes, a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And then like I actually don't think this show will work without Yahya and Sir Ben Kingsley. Like
No, it wouldn't.
Like it is like they are the show. It is like it really makes the show really like, because when people were hyping up WandaVision, is like I not my thing. Agatha never even finished it. Don't care. This is like, nah, like this could stand up. This actually this sounds just like it's good in spite of it being MCU. Like to me, this is actually up there with like when I watch the studio Apple TV or when I watch, my beloved The Franchise on HBO that people just did catch on to, even though I think it's really smart.
I think it was timing. Timing can really affect the show. The Franchise is a very good show, but again, you got an Indian lead there. I don't know if he's Indian, but he's a South Asian. Yeah, definitely a South Asian star. Yeah, I think I am not as into the show as you are. I wasn't very connected to it. But I could appreciate it. I don't think it's on the level of the studio and The Franchise, but I think it's in the same realm. And I think that those three are very good to watch together. They work really well together. You could almost imagine that it's all the same Hollywood, because it is. Like you can imagine
to a certain
it's
degree.
3 different studios. Like in your head, you can see that it might be like, Paramount, Warner Brothers.
It only gets funky when they actually start putting the MCU stuff in there. Like low key, this show has Doorman in it.
Yeah.
Folk don't understand how much of a Z-list character that is. Like Doorman is in the Great Lakes Avengers. Like he's less than Misty Immortal and all them other random kid, like the Squirrel Girl. Like he's super lost. Like he has a whole bottle. He has a bottle episode. He has an episode all about him, and it's a great episode.
Yeah, it is
It's actually, I think, the standout episode of the series.
And I think that they planned it that way.
Yeah.
They wanted that to be, your vignette episode or your silhouette episode. There's a name that I call it and I can't think of it now, but your vignette episode where they really go into something that is adjacent to the story and affects the story, but you could pull it out and the story would still work.
Yeah.
It enhances it. And everything that they do with Doorman, especially with Josh Gad, because the whole setup with Doorman pushing and pushing and pushing himself until his power kind of breaks down and ends up in the tragic loss of MCU Josh Gad.
Yeah, no, I think that show I think does a lot to like it's really great to show, but I think it does a lot in regards to the entire MCU because it puts some like stakes to things like, oh, these are things that's been happening. So when they say stuff in a random movie, and you're like, what? What does that matter? Like he fixes it. It's the most Marvel comics thing this show does. Is like, these things where they drop the ball in the other stories. I'm gonna way to fix that. I'm gonna explain why just with a good story. It's just like, like that was quite good there.
Yeah, the Doorman clause. And the Doorman clause is what Simon Williams, the actor Wonder Man, is running from.
Yeah.
It is the shadow that's looming over his head and the thing that could very well put him down. But we've also got damage control. We love a good damage control.
No, I don't anymore. I don't anymore.
I mean,
They're not funny.
not that damage control. I mean, in the comic books.
But that's my thing. Like the show version is just
McDuffie. But go.
yeah,
What is your
yeah,
problem with this
it's-
version of damage?
at this point, we what 3 or 4
They all over
you've
the
seen
place.
them?
Yeah, they're all
Well,
over.
they've been enough times, and they're just evil government department. Like
Yeah, they're not
that's
really.
all they do is terrorize people.
Yeah, they're not really damage control. It's like basically what they're doing is damage control is whenever you need a shadowy government operation, it's just damage control. Where I feel like when we had the damage control with the Vulture, that was damage control. They were the cleanup crew. They were fixing damage.
Yeah.
And I want that. I would love to see that back, but I think they have made it too broad.
Because they did like for comic people when there was a period of time when Norman Osborn took over Shield and called it Hammer and grew more powerful within the government and in the Marvel universe and comics. Uh, it feel very much like that.
Yeah.
And it's also just said at this point is like, how come you guys just haven't brought back Shield yet? Like I understand that like the Hydra thing happened, but even within the continuity of the movies and shows, it's like 15 years ago. Like y'all done lost half the population and gave half the population back. Like y'all should have made a new Shield by now that's like without Hydra people. Like that's to me, they're doing the job of what Shield is supposed to do.
Yeah, I agree.
And I just want to see them clean up messes.
Yeah, I want to see damage control be damage control because it's one of Dwayne McDuffie's great creations. A lot of people got a lot of love, especially a lot of writers. Dave's got big love for damage control. I've had some great conversations with, animators and comic book creators about that. So anyway, that is one of the things, but it's still nice that the name of damage control is ringing out. I just you wish, like you said, that they refined everything and let the different organizations do what they're supposed to do. So Julian, I was going to say that this show, even though I respected it, I love the fact that Simon Williams, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen the second, who I like to call Yahya Mateen Cleaves because I can say he can ball. What really did it for me was actually the ending.
Yeah, the ending is really. I like that I like that he had a happy. I like that he achieved his goal. I like that because Trevor has a very Dottie Brasco-esque like storyline. It turned into he's essentially undercover, and he doesn't want to be undercover. But like he fixes the problem by sacrificing himself. And I gotta say, when you get to see Ben Kingsley and then he has the rings on, I'm like, I finally get to see this Bama the Mandarin with the 10 rings on. It's like I've been waiting. Like he's just like it just should have took this off for me to see my man.
I didn't even notice it. I was so busy looking at this. I was looking at the fit that I did.
He holds his hands up like, let you suckers know that I'm stunting on you right now. And I was like, that's what the Mandarin's supposed to do.
And there's a really great scene where they want Trevor to play the Mandarin, and you're seeing, and you watch him find the characters.
Yeah.
And Ben Kingsley literally goes through different voices for the Mandarin and different postures. And then you see when he puts on the sunglasses and he finds, and you're like, okay, y'all know what you're doing. Y'all. Julian, we got like a minute and a half left on this, maybe a little bit more. What else is on your mind about this?
For the Wonder Man fans, it had the Kirby Crackle is there. Like Wonder Man has the ionic Kirby Crackle.
Yes.
It's done very well.
And it has a signature, like it leaves an impression.
Yep. It is Wonder Man. It's just not Wonder Man.
It is a very meta alternate universe version of Wonder Man that has a lot to say about how these creatives feel about Hollywood. So before we go, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about the original Wonder Man? Just give us a capsule real quick.
Wonder Man is a person that was hired by Baron Zemo to attack the Avengers. He kind of dies a lot. His brain patterns, it was used to create the Vision. And there's a love triangle usually between him, Wanda, and the Vision because she doesn't know if she really loves Simon or the Vision because the Vision is based off Simon.
Do you think we're going to get there?
No.
You think they're going to let that story go?
Unless they reboot.
The one thing I have to say is the way it ends, I wondered if this means that they are going to start to put this version of the character into the MCU at large, like if we might see him in the movies and things like that, because the way they did it, he feels like his next step is hero, even though right now
you'll see him as a bad guy.
Yeah. You think?
Yeah.
I mean, even you live right now. That's
yeah. So he would be quote unquote a bad guy, like even though he's doing heroic things and helping people, But like again, I don't know because it depends on. Like I would like to see him in either in the Secret Wars punching people in the face, when Doom takes over and the Beyonder and stuff. But I don't think we'll see Yahya in that big movie. But I could be wrong.
I don't know, Julian. I feel like something about the way they closed it makes me feel like that was the setup. But this has been Sherin and
Julian
for Geek Girl Riot, and we're talking about Wonder Man, which you can watch right now on Disney Plus.